You're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders.
What's up, everybody? This is the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders, and you're listening to a very special edition episode of the RCWR Show. As guess what, folks? It's that time once again. It's our Call That Match special. This episode, we're going to be covering the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view that's going to be coming at us live this Sunday, June 15th, 2012, only on pay-per-view. It's going to be kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. I know a few people out there, they're probably a little bit on the fence about coughing up that $44.95, $54 and some change on this pay-per-view, as it really doesn't look like it's going to be that strong of a pay-per-view. Heck, we even got some people that are out there right now putting articles out there that this is probably going to be one of the worst WWE pay-per-views of all time, at least as far as this year goes. Well, I'll definitely share my opinions on that more in detail in just a little bit. Now, before we dip right into it, folks, definitely want to take this time to thank those of you that have listened and downloaded our past week's episodes. Now, in case you all haven't checked it out yet, highly recommend that you go download our episodes, as to date we really put on some really great shows. Earlier this week on our Tuesday night edition of the RCWR Show, we had the one and only Joey Ryan stop by, and he talked about his wrestling career. He also talked about what it was like going on TNA Impact Wrestling, doing the whole TNA gut check. He shared his thoughts on what all had transpired with the judges, his confrontation with Taz. It was a really great in-depth interview. Really had a ton of fun doing that piece. Definitely highly recommend that you check it out, as it was a fantastic episode, one of which I felt very proud of. Not to mention, we also did a pretty strong episode of Impact Showdown, of which has been getting a ton of feedback. A lot of people, they've been showing the love on that episode. Of course, all our episodes as of late have been on point, but this past week's episodes definitely really freaking awesome show. So I highly recommend that you go check those out. You can check them out in the iTunes and Zune marketplaces, folks. Keywords, the RCWR Show. Also, we now have episodes that are downloadable and able to be listened to on Stitcher. That's right, folks. We are now on Stitcher. Now, the cool thing about Stitcher is if you have a Android phone, Kindle Fire, you name the device, an iPad, it got you covered. All you got to do is just download Stitcher, which is a free app. You can check it out in the App Store, and you'll be able to listen to all our episodes. So I highly recommend that you check that out. Hey, it's really awesome. You can also access our shows through Stitcher.com. Stitcher is the smart and new way to play internet radio, so make sure that you all go check that out. Now, this is, of course, a YouTube exclusive. This is especially for you YouTube fans. We know how much you all have been loving our Call That Match specials. Hey, if you have been keeping track so far, I've been doing a pretty good job with my Call That Match specials, but I got my ass beat a little bit when I did the TNA Slammiversary Call That Match. Now, I'm not really sure what TNA Creative was thinking when they did what they did with some of the matches that I picked, where there should have been winners, but it is what it is. It's in the history books, and to date, if you've been keeping track of our Call That Match specials, I've probably suffered the worst ass beating coming off of that Slammiversary Call That Match special. So I'm definitely looking to redeem myself with this Call That Match special covering the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view. So, enjoy this YouTube exclusive, folks. Let's go on ahead and let's go right into it. Now, to kick things off this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, I believe. Not really sure of the time zones, but basically all I know is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to get a pre-show that's going to be a YouTube exclusive for the WWE. Now, you'll be able to access this YouTube exclusive pre-show on YouTube, as I just mentioned. You'll also be able to access it on Facebook, and you'll be able to access it on WWE's website. Now, this pre-show has Brodus Clay taking on David Otunga. That's right, folks. We got Brodus Clay taking on David Otunga. Now, I know some of you are probably looking at this match and you're probably saying to yourselves, this match really does not have that much of a storyline to it. It really doesn't make sense for us to be seeing this match. I really couldn't agree with you more, folks. I know I've been paying attention to Raw and SmackDown the past couple of weeks, and this one just really kind of came out of nowhere, if you will. Now, we know that Mr. John Laurinaitis had took the liberty of banning Brodus Clay from WWE Raw, and now Brodus has been somewhat of an exclusive on SmackDown, but him having this match with David Otunga, I must admit, this is a match where on the one hand, it's nice to see Brodus Clay actually getting it on with a actual wrestler, because remember when Brodus Clay first came to the scene there, folks, he was taking on jobbers, independent wrestlers left and right, and just winning in squash matches. But then over time, it looked as if he was starting to have to prove himself when he started taking on the main WWE roster of talent. So I am definitely curious to see this match. I just wish that there was a bit more storyline going into it is all. I still strongly feel that WWE Creative, they went a bit of a ways in a different direction, because really, I believe David Otunga should be working some type of a feud with Santino Marella right now. I was really under the impression that these two were going to be working a long series together, a long program, which would end by David Otunga coming away with that United States title. I thought that was going to be the setup. Seemed as if the writing was on the wall for that, but it looks like they're going in a different direction with David Otunga. Well, with all that being said, and keeping that this match is definitely going to happen between Clay and Otunga, let's go on ahead and let's pick a winner for this match. Now, Brodus Clay, he has continued to be very impressive, and I must admit, I loved how he stepped it up when he tried to take on the Big Show a couple of weeks back on Raw. Keeping all that in mind, and keeping in mind that Brodus Clay's streak is still intact despite suffering a very bad ass whooping that he received from the Big Show, which the match would end in a no contest. For those of you that are keeping track of his win-loss record, I'm definitely going to have to go with Brodus Clay picking up the victory. Now, what could that mean for David Otunga? Well, personally, writing-wise, and remember, this is the beautiful part about the Call That Match specials, is I also approach what direction each loser and winner needs to go from a writing standpoint, as I have the experience of a writer after all these years. I would love to see, written-wise, I would love to see David Otunga go in the direction of John Laurinaitis blasting Otunga and saying to him, hey, it just seems to me like you're not the same man that you used to be. There used to be a time where I would give you a job and you used to be able to do it. And now it just seems like you've been letting me down as of late. You better start picking it up soon. You better shake off that slack, or else there's going to be some serious consequences. I would love to see John Laurinaitis really put that out there on David Otunga and start putting that pressure on him. Maybe make it be somewhat similar to what Mr. Teddy Long was doing to Drew McIntyre last year, where Teddy Long was sitting up saying to Drew, hey, you need to go out there, you need to make sure that you win these matches, because if you don't, oh, you're gonna have some serious problems with me. I would like to see some type of a slow build up happen between John Laurinaitis and David Otunga, where David Otunga will eventually break away from John Laurinaitis. Possibly it could happen. Yes, he's all about being a kiss up and all that, but I strongly can see the ingredients being put in place for David Otunga to shy away from the Raw and SmackDown GM. But that would be a really great direction I would go with Otunga. Now, with regards to Brodus Clay, I could definitely see Brodus Clay continuing to work some type of a program with David Otunga, as it really seems like he hasn't been too much into programs as of late. I mean, as of late, he's done his thing with Big Show, and now he's doing his thing with David Otunga. Other than that, he's just been randomly put in matches against other WWE superstars. So I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Brodus Clay continue to work a program with David Otunga, especially since Santino has his hands full right now. If Santino did not have his hands full, then I would love to see Santino focus on Otunga and Brodus Clay continue to possibly work a program with Big Show, which is another thing that I think is kind of weird, folks, as we would see what all had occurred with Brodus Clay and Big Show a couple of weeks back on Raw, and we're just seeing really no follow-up to that. I would like to see that little story arc get the proper bow treatment, if you will. Wrap that up so that both of these guys can definitely move on if possible. But regardless, I'm definitely going to be going with David Otunga for the win here, folks. Now, let's move on with our next match, which sees the WWE Divas title as Layla, the champion, defends it against the Glamazon, the beautiful Beth Phoenix. Now, I know this is one of those type of matches where you kind of sit up and you say to yourself, I don't really care about this match. I mean, this is a match that really doesn't have that much of a proper build-up. I just don't really agree with the fact that this match was just randomly put together. There's really been no storyline whatsoever. I mean, we know that Beth Phoenix is supposed to get her little rematch clause against Layla for the title, but there's really no way to truly invest in this match, which is really sad when you think about it, because Beth Phoenix is one hell of a wrestler. She's probably one of the best divas that they got in there right now that can actually throw it down, aside from Natalya. I mean, with that being said, this is a match that unfortunately I really don't have true investment in, and I must say, with regards to Layla, I was very disappointed by her recent return. I mean, I gotta be honest. And look, I'm a Layla fan. I'm a huge Layla fan. I've followed her career since she was a cheerleader down there for the Miami Heat. I definitely was rooting her on when she went and tried to become a diva, the next diva. You know, the little competition that I'm talking about there, folks. But I don't know. This is a tough one, man, because she hasn't been impressive since she's returned. She just doesn't look the same. She doesn't come off the same way she was a couple of years back. Seems like that injury has hindered her a bit. But keeping that in mind, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to have Layla retain her title. Now, I know that I'm really jumping out there. You would think that maybe keeping everything that I said in mind with Layla, with her recent injury and her not looking that impressive in the ring, you would think that maybe I would go with Beth Phoenix. I see Layla holding on to this title at least for one more month to really try to put herself over and really try to come off being impressive. Otherwise, I could definitely see the belt coming off of her at the very next pay-per-view. But in regards to what's going to happen this Sunday, I see her keeping the title for just a little while longer. Now, if I were setting this up, this should be a feud here, folks. This should really get the proper treatment that it deserves. I would like to see these two women continue to have a program with one another, and I would love to see them carry it from WWE Raw to SmackDown. Hey, it could even go over to Superstars. I would like to see these two actually work a program. Let's put some storyline behind it to really make the fans feel invested in this match. Now, keeping all that said, I'm not going with these two going in a different direction with other opponents. I want to see these two continue to work a program together and build something that can make the wrestling fans say, hey, I remember what all has been going on with these two in recent weeks. Yeah, this should be a good match. Otherwise, what's the point of having there be a WWE Divas title at a pay-per-view if you're just going to randomly put two divas together and call it a match? So, once again, though, I'm going with Layla for the win. Now, let's move on to our WWE Intercontinental Championship match. This one I'm going to be paying very close attention to, as it's got two of my favorites. We got the son of a plumber. We got the son of Dusty Rhodes. We got Cody Rhodes. Hey, he might not be dashing anymore, but he's always going to be dashing in my book, as he's going to be taking on the Intercontinental Champion Christian. Now, these two guys, they've been building one really nice program within recent weeks, and we've just really been seeing Cody Rhodes do a phenomenal job of really stealing the show on SmackDown for the past few weeks now. And hey, who could forget on last week's SmackDown where we had that episode of Christian's installment of the Peep Show, and Cody Rhodes would just come on down there to the ring and he would break it all up, and he would cut one really great promo prior to Christian coming out. I mean, Cody Rhodes, he's done some phenomenal things within recent weeks. He's just really been impressive. His mic work has just been getting better and better. You would think that, keeping all those good things in mind of what I just said of Cody Rhodes, that going into the No Way Out pay-per-view, that he would definitely possibly get back his WWE Intercontinental title, right? Well, wrong. I'm going to go with Christian for the retain. And here's the reason why I believe that Christian is going to retain. I think that if WWE Creative is really smart, I think they can have something on their hands right now to keep themselves occupied throughout the summer. Remember a couple of years back how we had Matt Hardy and MVP working that great program that lasted all through the summer? That was probably one of the best highlights of SmackDown, as those guys kept locking it up at pay-per-views. I strongly believe that Cody Rhodes and Christian, if they do this right, and I'm talking about they being WWE Creative, I strongly believe that if they do this right, folks, that they can have a great feud on their hands that could last them just a little bit up until SummerSlam, heck, even past SummerSlam. So I definitely would love to see these two continue to work at it. I'm not quite ready to see Cody Rhodes get back the Intercontinental title. I strongly like how he's on the chase right now, how he's on the title hunt scene right now. He just seems to work better chasing after the title, I feel. And Christian, he's just really, what can you say about Christian? He is just a all-around great performer. He always brings it. He really doesn't get enough credit in the world. Christian is so underrated. Should he be a world heavyweight champion or a WWE champion right now? I strongly believe he should. But hey, he's Intercontinental Champion right now, and for a fourth time at that, folks. Hey, I think he's been doing a phenomenal job, but if WWE Creative is very smart, they will have the two of these guys continue to work their program. And hey, even after this pay-per-view is over, I could really see a very heated, a very conflicted Cody Rhodes that just starts taking his anger out on maybe random people in the crowd. I could also see Cody Rhodes sitting up and maybe doing personal attacks on Christian in the backstage area. I mean, this has the perfect ingredients to be a really great feud. So I'm definitely going to be going with Christian for the retain, but look for these two guys to definitely pick it up. Should be very impressive right here. Now, let's move on to our next match of the card, folks, which has a lot of people saying, oh my god, this is probably going to be one of the worst matches for WWE, which is a tuxedo match as Santino Marella takes on Ricardo Rodriguez. That's right, Ricardo Rodriguez, personal assistant to Alberto Del Rio. I know my R's, they just sounded really sloppy right there. I don't care. But anyway, we got Santino taking on Ricardo Rodriguez. This is a match where, man, if you listen to the Tuesday night edition of the RCWR show, I sat up and I pretty much blasted the hell out of the last match that these two guys were involved in, which was a intergender match, which saw Ricardo Rodriguez teaming up with the Glamazon Beth Phoenix to take on Santino and Layla, and Ricardo and Beth Phoenix were able to pick up the win. And post-match, Santino, he ripped the clothes off of Ricardo to reveal a Justin Bieber shirt. Really silly moment right there. Here we have another silly moment. And folks, I haven't seen too much of Ricardo. I know that he definitely used to do a little bit of wrestling, so we definitely know that he can take bumps, but I'm not really sure about this match here, folks. I'm just really looking at this and I'm saying to myself, of all the matches they could put in here, why do we have Santino versus Ricardo? Of all these precious spots that we have for a pay-per-view, why are these two locking it up? This really should be a match that should be on SmackDown, Raw, hell, even an episode of WWE Superstars. Why are these two guys being involved on a pay-per-view? Really, you're sitting up and you're telling people to pay $44, $54 for this match? It really doesn't hold that much of a significant value, other than these two have been involved in some type of a little feud for a couple of weeks now. It's pointless. It's just silly to me, folks, because it just kind of reminds me of a silly feud between the beer man and the hot dog vendor. I mean, really, that's how I look at this. This is probably one of those bathroom break type of matches, but keeping that in mind, despite all that, it is what it is. It's on the card. It's a match. I'm gonna go with Santino for the victory. WWE, they've in their own way been kind of getting behind Santino little by little. I'm sure they're probably scratching their heads and they're probably saying to themselves, what the hell is it with the crowd, as they just love Santino? They're trying to make sense of it all, and what you can't understand, hey, sometimes you just gotta roll with the flow. But I'm gonna go with Santino in this. expect for these two to continue their little bitter feud together. I don't see it being squashed at the pay-per-view. Let's move on now and let's talk about one of the main attractions that's going to be for the night, which has been getting a little bit of downplay, but I definitely think it has the greatest potential to be a show stealer for the pay-per-view, which is Triple H addressing what all has been going on between his lawsuit with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Remember, folks, it was just a couple of weeks back on an episode of Raw where Paul Heyman had confronted Triple H to inform him that Brock Lesnar had sat up and he is putting a lawsuit in motion against Triple H and the WWE. And Triple H, he got pretty livid as he put his hands on Paul Heyman, which prompted Paul Heyman to say, okay, not only are you going to have a lawsuit from Brock Lesnar, but now you're going to have a second lawsuit as you put your hands on me, Triple H. We're going to see you in court. Now, we know that the WWE Board of Directors have sat up and they had asked to speak with Triple H. So he had went down to the main headquarters and they've been going back and forth. So this will be the first time that Triple H will address everything that has gone down with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Now, I don't just see Triple H coming down here to this pay-per-view and getting in the ring and just talking and that's it. I think some stuff is definitely going to go down. Now, do I see Brock Lesnar making an appearance? If I were writing this, I would not have Brock Lesnar pop up. I think it's a wasted spot. I think it's a wasted opportunity. Would it make sense to have Brock Lesnar pop up just to try to add more pay-per-view buys? Yes, from that aspect, it would make sense. But at the same time, this is where it gets a little bit conflicted. You have to keep in mind of Brock Lesnar's contract. He can only make but a certain amount of appearances. He signed that WWE contract where he can only do 30 to 40 appearances. Now, he's already got 5 out the way. So now he's down to about maybe 25 to 30 appearances left. So with that in mind, they've really got to do this smart. And if they're smart, hell, it's Sunday, the No Way Out pay-per-view. Honestly, I would probably have him show up maybe 2 weeks after the No Way Out pay-per-view. I would not have Brock Lesnar pop up. Now, that's popping up at the pay-per-view. However, if WWE were smart, they could sit up and maybe show some type of a pre-taped segment and air it on the Titantron as Triple H is talking. Maybe they could have Brock Lesnar make an appearance that way. It would be a really smart move on WWE's part if one of the very last times they had used Brock Lesnar, they really thought about it in advance and maybe they had him cut some type of a promo that could be specifically catered towards the Triple H appearance at the No Way Out pay-per-view. That would be a smart move in itself. Another scenario I could possibly see is Paul Heyman making an appearance to help push the storyline even further. Hell, if they do this right, maybe they could actually set it up where Paul Heyman makes an appearance at this pay-per-view and he could say, look, you know, I'm definitely going to be in the area of such and such city tomorrow night for Raw. How about you and me meet in the middle of the ring face to face? So I definitely wouldn't mind seeing something like that go down. Now, we already got a little bit of speculation that's going on right now where one of the main reasons why Shawn Michaels is probably going to be involved on that 1000th episode of Raw is possibly due to the return of Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar probably putting Shawn Michaels in that weird arm submission where he just breaks the living hell out of the arm, and that could really help further along his program with Triple H. I could definitely see that happening, but in the meantime, I'm looking for either a Brock Lesnar promo to air on the Titantron or Paul Heyman to make an appearance. It definitely has the potential to be one of the show stealers of the night, but do not expect Triple H to just come to the ring and just talk, and then be done with it. No, I see something else going down. Now, let's move on to our next match, as we have the World Heavyweight title being put on the line, as Sheamus is going to be taking on Dolph Ziggler. Now, we got a lot of people that are crapping on this because, there's not really enough storyline of a build-up. I can definitely appreciate and understand where some people are coming from. I feel the very same way. I thought there was more storyline with Alberto Del Rio. That was being built very nicely. It's unfortunate that Del Rio is out of the picture, but hey, it is what it is, folks, and we have to deal with it. Now, it's unfortunate that Dolph Ziggler is in the position that he is in, and there really hasn't been that much of a build-up, but despite that, this has one of the greatest potentials of being one of the best matches of the pay-per-view, I feel. Now, it's a no-brainer, folks. Sheamus is definitely going to pick up the win. I said it on the Tuesday night edition of the RCWR show, and I'm going to go on record and I'm going to say it again because I'm that confident. Sheamus is going to retain his World Heavyweight title. Now, if WWE is smart and they really use this as an opportunity to evaluate Dolph Ziggler, I strongly believe that Dolph Ziggler will definitely put on a hell of a performance that'll definitely make WWE Creative sit up and really try to utilize him more in that main event scene. So look for Dolph Ziggler to continue to work his program with Sheamus. I don't feel that Dolph Ziggler is just going to disappear from the title scene just like that. I think that if WWE Creative is really smart, after this match, they'll go on ahead and they'll actually start working on a feud. It has the greatest potential, I feel. So I would like to see both of these two guys continue to work it out. Now, if that were not to happen, then I do have another idea that could happen for both of these two guys. I would personally love to see Sheamus take on Kane next, as I think that's just been long overdue, folks. And with regards to CM Punk, I would love to see Dolph Ziggler work a program with him. But that's going into a completely different other area. I think you see where I'm going with this. But let me not stray too far away. Let me just deal with this match as it is right now. And again, I'm going to be going with Sheamus for the retain. But expect for these two to definitely continue their feud. This is pretty much going to be similar to what had went down with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. There really wasn't that much of a build-up going into their match at the Over the Limit pay-per-view, but you just knew that these two were going to put on one great match. And then after that, that's when we started getting the meat and potatoes of a storyline so that you could actually feel invested into these two guys. I see this match between Ziggler and Sheamus having those same capabilities, so hopefully it'll be executed that way. We'll know this Sunday. Now, I'm just putting this out there. I think some random things are going to happen. I know we got some people that are sitting up saying, hey, they're missing a few matches from this pay-per-view. Hey, folks, I love it when the pay-per-views go down and there's some unannounced things that happen, unannounced matches that are added to the card. I strongly believe that one of the things that we're definitely going to see Ryback. Now, I know a lot of people, they have been somewhat a little bit upset with the way Ryback is being used, and the latest buzz that's going around right now is that the reason why we've yet to see Ryback take on actual wrestlers on the WWE roster is because some of the talent feel as though he's reckless, that he's careless in the ring. They really don't want to work with him. So that's why we continue to see him taking on jobbers left and right. So keeping that in mind, folks, I definitely see Ryback making another pay-per-view appearance and picking up a win. Maybe this time around he could take on 3 people to really make things interesting. But I have Ryback. I'm going to pin him down right now. I think Ryback is going to make an appearance and he's going to pick up another win. Now, we got the WWE Tag Titles, which is held currently by R-Truth, Kofi Kingston. Now, it would really be nice to see these 2 guys make an appearance at the pay-per-view. Will it happen? I'm really not sure, as there really hasn't been that much hype for these 2 guys. But I'm just putting it out there right now. If they were to make an appearance at the pay-per-view, I definitely have them winning. Now, who could they possibly take on? Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing them work a match at the No Way Out pay-per-view against Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Those 2 guys, a lot of people, they may not like that tag team, but they are damn impressive. I think those guys definitely have the charisma. They work very well together in the ring. They definitely are going to get those tag titles one day. Could it happen this Sunday? Who knows? But I would love to see Kofi and R-Truth defend those titles against those 2 guys this Sunday. But that's just optimistic thinking there. But hey, if you see it go down, folks, just remember you heard it here first. Now, let's move on to our next match, which is the WWE Championship that's being put on the line as CM Punk defends it against Daniel Bryan and Kane in this triple threat match. Now, we would see all the storylines that would be involved in this match, and we know AJ is now thrown into the mix. Which side is AJ on? Is she on CM Punk's side because she has this weird fixation on him? Or is she on Daniel Bryan's side, her first love? Or is she a bit crazy and demented? Does she have something going on for Kane, as she gave him one serious lip lock this past Monday night on Raw? Hey, who knows? But let's just cut through all that. Now, originally, when it was Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, great rematch from the Over the Limit pay-per-view. But now that we got Kane thrown in there, myself, I know as well as other WWE fans, they really do not want to see Kane in this match. They feel that he's a third leg in this. They feel that he's a third wheel. He's not really needed. Just let it boil down to Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. I can appreciate WWE sitting up and putting Kane in this, or just putting a third man in this match, as they were trying to switch it up a little bit. Maybe they just feared that possibly this match really wasn't going to be able to deliver, and that's why they put a third man in there. Hey, I'm just assuming. I could be wrong, folks, but honestly, I strongly believe that Kane was not needed, but it is what it is, folks. Keeping all that said, I've got CM Punk retaining, and look, here's my reasons why CM Punk is going to retain, okay? Number 1, folks, he's on the front cover of the newest WWE 13 video game, okay? It's like Madden, okay? He is on the front cover. I don't see him winning the title. I'm sorry, I don't see him losing the title anytime soon, okay? I know that October is a little bit of a long ways, but keeping it in mind, they're going to need CM Punk to still be holding on to that title when it comes time for that game to be released. And he's one of the main people that's going around plugging that game. So I see him holding on to that title way past July, August. I see him holding it all the way up until the release day for the WWE 13 video game. So that's one of the main reasons why I see CM Punk retaining this title. Now, one of the other reasons that I see CM Punk holding on to this title is that he is on very good terms with Mr. McMahon right now. Mr. McMahon, he really loves his work ethic. He loves that he's a workhorse. He's proven himself to be that reliable man, to be that person to go to. The ball is in CM Punk's hands right now, and he is running with it. He's got that title. He's representing the company. He's throwing it down right now. Vince McMahon loves CM Punk, so CM Punk, there's just no way he's going to be losing this title right now. So keeping that in mind, folks, I've got CM Punk retaining his championship. Now, what could happen next? Well, we definitely got to get Kane out of that picture. Now, what direction could Kane go into next? Well, I just said Kane could possibly work some type of a program, maybe with Sheamus. That would be really nice to see, two big bulls getting it on in the ring. I think that has some potential. It could also be set up to try to show a different layer, a different dimension to Sheamus, as right now he's just going around always talking about a family member and talking about arse. That's pretty much his thing right now. I mean, he's got a great moveset. He's got one devastating ugly ass bro kick that just knocks off the heads of people that he faces every single time, and it just looks so beautiful when he lands that kick. But I would love to see a little bit more depth to Sheamus's character. Maybe by working a program with Kane, it could kind of be brought out a little bit more. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, I would definitely like to see these two guys lock it up one more time. Hell, this could probably be one of those type of feuds that could keep going up until SummerSlam. As we all know, SummerSlam, it's coming up. It's the next best thing other than WrestleMania. So maybe Daniel Bryan and CM Punk can continue to do their thing leading up until SummerSlam. Like I said, folks, a couple of weeks back, put these two guys in an Iron Man match, as it hasn't been done in quite a long time. Put an hour on the clock and just let these two guys go at it. I strongly feel that they could deliver. Let's see it happen. I definitely see AJ finally choosing sides at the pay-per-view. I think she's going to do everything she can to help CM Punk pick up the win. I don't see a title change happening here, folks. All right, let's move on to our next match, which we got the main event, if you will, which is John Cena taking on Big Show inside of a steel cage. Now, remember, folks, we got Vince McMahon. Now, hopefully, he'll still be making an appearance at the No Way Out pay-per-view, which would really be a smart move for WWE, as the latest WWE Raw rating showed that Vince McMahon's appearance on this past 3-hour Raw really did help significantly. So maybe we could definitely have Vince McMahon make an appearance at this pay-per-view, just maybe tease it a little bit and be like, oh, Vince McMahon, he suffered the punch to the face by the Big Show on Raw. It looks like he's not going to be able to make it. I think it would be a little bit of a tease to bring him in midway into the Cena versus Big Show match, but I still expect Vince McMahon to pop up. Now, remember what Vince McMahon said to John Laurinaitis on Raw before he got knocked out by Big Show. Vince McMahon said to John Laurinaitis that if Big Show doesn't get the job done against Cena in this match, that John Laurinaitis is going to be fired. Now, we got a ton of people that don't like John Laurinaitis. They want to see him out of a job. John Laurinaitis has been serving his purpose very well. He's been a great addition to the WWE roster. He has definitely helped string along different wrestling angles. I like how all these multiple wrestling angles all tie into him so beautifully. Keeping all that said in mind, let's talk about this steel cage match. Number one, it needed to be a steel cage match, so kudos for WWE to making it a gimmick match, because if it just would have been a regular match, people probably would have been chanting boring and refund. So it's good that they put this in a steel cage. Great gimmick match right there. I definitely feel it's going to be one of those slow-paced type of matches. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to see any blood because I personally, when I think of a steel cage, I think of heads being busted open, faces being cut up. I would love to see blood happen in this match, but I know we're not going to get it. But I see it being one of those slow style type of matches. I can see Big Show putting some steel steps in there, looking for some weapons. I could definitely see a ton of crazy stuff happen in this contest. Now, keeping all that said, what's going to happen in this contest? I see Big Show beating John Cena. I do not see John Laurinaitis being fired. I see Big Johnny keeping his GM spot for just a little while longer. I know they've been teasing the hell out of John Laurinaitis possibly losing his gig off and on for a couple of months as Triple H tried to fire him a couple of times. That didn't go right. Then we see Vince McMahon, who tried to do his thing, but it looks like he got sidetracked when Big Show came out. I think this is going to be another scenario where unfortunately John Cena is going to come up short once again. Now, what could happen afterwards? Post-match, I would like to see some really interesting stuff go down. Now, look, post-match, here's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see Big Show just really destroy the hell out of John Cena. And afterwards, I would like to see Vince McMahon try and get involved and come to the aid of John Cena. But I could also see Big Show putting his hands on the WWE chairman, which would prompt Triple H to come down to the ring in aid of his father-in-law, and he starts trying to throw it down too, but he's no match for the Giant as Big Show takes him out as well. I think that if WWE Creative is really smart, and I'm just coming from a writing standpoint here, this pay-per-view should end with Cena being laid out, with Vince McMahon being laid out, with Triple H being laid out, all in the middle of the ring. If they're really trying to push the hell out of Big Show, you want to talk about a shocking moment, you want to talk about a, oh my god, we got to tune in to WWE Raw this coming Monday, that would be one hell of a way to end the pay-per-view as Big Show just stands victorious over those three guys, with John Laurinaitis kind of looking on, kind of smiling, but having a look on his face like, what the hell have I gotten myself into to end the No Way Out pay-per-view? So, let's go on ahead and let's recap on who all I have selected to win their respective matches at the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view. So, for our pre-show, I've got Brodus Clay picking up the win on David Otunga. For our WWE Divas title match, I have Layla retaining her title. For the WWE Intercontinental Championship, I have Christian retaining the belt. For our tuxedo match, I have Santino defeating Ricardo Rodriguez. For our fourth match, I have World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus retaining his title. For our fifth match, I know it's a wild card there, but I definitely see it happening. I got Ryback definitely picking up a win. Our sixth match, I got the WWE Championship as CM Punk defeating Kane and Daniel Bryan. And for our main event match of the evening, I have Big Show defeating John Cena. Now, let's just eliminate that Ryback one because we know it's not on the card, but I'll just deal with the card as it is, but I'm just giving my predictions out there. But we'll remove the Ryback one and we'll just go with it as it is. So let's do that one more time. For the pre-show, I've got Brodus Clay defeating David Otunga. For the Divas title, I got Layla retaining. For the Intercontinental title, I've got Christian retaining. For the tuxedo match, I've got Santino defeating Ricardo Rodriguez. For the World Heavyweight title, I have Sheamus retaining it over Dolph Ziggler. For the WWE Championship, I have CM Punk retaining against Kane and Daniel Bryan. And for our main event, I have Big Show defeating John Cena. Alright, so that's going to do it, folks. Definitely would love to hear your match predictions, what all you think is going to happen at the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view. Feel free to pick your winners, and you can submit a comment down below and let me know what your picks are. And hey, if you are on point, we will give you a shout out live on the air when we do our WWE No Way Out post show this Sunday. Think you could come up with a better card? Definitely feel free to submit your picks by submitting it to the comment section down below. You can also get our attention by showing us your picks on Twitter. Hit us up at Infinity1Prod on Twitter. Here's the thing though, if you're going to submit your video to us by Twitter, don't just drop it off and then not say anything to us. Introduce yourself, say hello. It's always nice to meet fellow wrestling fans, so definitely give us a hello while you're submitting your picks or your vid, what have you. You can also submit your picks to us on Facebook at Infinity One Productions. And while you're on our Facebook page, take the time to like it and follow us, as we've been getting a ton of likes on our Facebook page. We are almost at 2,000 likes. So come see what all the good buzz is about. All right, folks. So that is going to do it. But we're going to be doing our WWE No Way Out pay-per-view post-match, as we're going to be doing the RCWR post-show. So definitely check that out, as that's going to be airing live at 11 p.m. Eastern, immediately following the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view. And we definitely would like to hear from you all. So if you all plan on checking out that pay-per-view, definitely feel free to check out the show, as you'll be able to call in and let us know how you enjoyed or might have disliked the pay-per-view. So definitely check that show out. You'll be able to check it out by visiting us on our home website at infinityoneproductions.com, and you can also check out the show on blogtalkradio.com/THERCWRSHOW, which actually has a chat room in there as well, in case you feel a little chatty. Now, we'll be sitting up and we'll be having our chat room open for you WWE fans this Sunday at 8 p.m. for the pay-per-view. So if you feel like chatting, you might not be able to watch the pay-per-view and you just want to know what's going on with the results, feel free to pop your head in the chat room, and we'll definitely give you the very latest on what all is going on with the pay-per-view leading up to our post-show. So feel free to follow us on Twitter and Facebook to find out when we will be opening up our chat room for it. That's going to do it, folks. I do hope you all are having a fantastic weekend so far, or getting ready to, and you all enjoy some really great NBA action, as it looks like it's going to be a interesting series, as last we checked it was tied 1 apiece between Miami Heat and Oklahoma City Thunder. Hey, if you haven't had a Liberty yet and you're a huge basketball fan, make it your business to go check out the Dream Team documentary that recently premiered on ESPN this past Wednesday. They'll be showing encores all this week. Really great piece right there. Highly recommend you check it out. That's going to do it, folks. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to rest up and be ready for the WWE No Way Out this Sunday. So, on behalf of Zed, co-producer Tammy, I thank you, the listeners, for checking out this special edition of the RCWR Show, YouTube exclusive, Call That Match special for the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view. We'll see you this Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific, for the RCWR post-show covering the No Way Out pay-per-view. Until next time, folks, be safe and be kind to one another. See you this Sunday, folks.